2018 will also be considered in the Committee of the Whole House. This bill is courtesy of the Senator Ayo. There is some activity at the door, which means that the business of the Senate is about to commence. On your screen is the maze, followed by the Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Kenneth Makelo Lusaka, already taken a bow, ready to oversee business. This broadcast is brought to you by PBU in conjunction with KBC. My name is Edward Kabasa. Good afternoon.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor and blessings as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberations in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Senator Johnson Waruma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a petition to the Senate on problems caused by iron ore mining at Kishushe in Taita Taveta. I will present the petition on their behalf. We, the undersigned, citizens of the Republic of Kenya living in Taita Taveta County, Undayi Sub-County, Umingu Kishushe Ward, Kishushe location, representing various groups, community groups, and individuals, wish to state that it is in public interest that we formally present this petition to the Senate of Kenya, that the residents of Kishushe have been having a lot of problems with Samruda Resources, Kenya Limited, a company mining iron ore in the region. That Samruda Resources, Kenya Limited, have a secret partnership agreement with the management of Kishushe Cooperative Society Ranch and claim to own the mining area to mine iron ore for the benefit of themselves with total disregard of their members and the rest of the Kishushe residents. That Samruda Resources Limited and her partner, the management of Kishushe Cooperative Society Ranch, are denying members who complain about human rights violations in the mine an opportunity to work in the mine contrary to Section 30 of the Community Land Act, have failed to provide the right working tools and facilities that ensure health and safety of the workers contrary to Article 41(2)(b) of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 178 of the Mining Act 2016, have failed to provide insurance cover for the workers and thus violating Section 217 of the Mining Act of 2016 and Section 7 of the Work Injury Benefits Act WIBA of 2007, are paying workers poorly and thus have violated Article 41(2)(a) and 41(5), which states that every person has a right to fair remuneration which can be achieved by signing a collective bargaining agreement between the employer and the employees. That claiming to own Kishushe iron ore mining area, the management of the Kishushe Cooperative Ranch have contradicted Article 61F of the Constitution of Kenya and declares that all minerals which declares that all minerals and mineral oils are public land, and that according to Section 6 of the Mining Act of 2016 are held in trust for the citizens, for all the citizens of Kenya. That on August 1st, 2015, the management of Kishushe Cooperative Ranch fraudulently got a title deed number CR 6578748, despite the fact that, one, during the survey of the ranch boundaries by the county government in December 2014, the citizens whose parcels of land border the ranch were suspiciously not informed about it and so did not participate in it. The survey extended the Kishushe Cooperative Society Ranch boundary into residence land and thus making over 1,500 people landless or squatters of the Kishushe Ranch, of the Kishushe Cooperative Ranch on their land they have lived and cultivated since 1962. There was a court order served on the Attorney General's office on behalf of the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development not to issue the title deed. 6, that a task force appointed by the then Cabinet Secretary of Mining, Honorable Najib Balala, to look into the mining problems in the area recommended that the title deed, number CR 65748, be revoked because it was acquired fraudulently. That the mining being done by Samruda Resources Kenya Limited at Kishushe is illegal, for it fails to comply with Section 36 of the Community Land Act 2016. That on 14th January 2019, Taita Taveta County Senator, Wundanyi and Voi constituency members of Parliament, the members of County Assembly for Mingu Kishushe, Mwanda Mgange wards, and the Finance and Planning County Executive Committee member of the County Government of Taita Taveta brokered a consultative meeting between Samruda Resources Kenya Limited and the residents of Kishushe to resolve some of the issues raised in this petition. That most of the issues raised herein were discussed and an agreement was reached on how they should be resolved and by when, but the company has not implemented any to date. That the efforts to resolve matters raised in this petition with the relevant authorities have proved futile. There is no case pending in court or any constitutional body on the matters raised in this petition. Herefore, your humble petitioners pray that the Senate, through its relevant Committee 1, deals with this petition immediately in view of the urgency and seriousness of the matters raised herein. 2, investigates the poor working conditions in the mining site and recommend appropriate actions. 3, investigates the circumstances that led to the non-payment of the royalty to the community of Kishushe and recommends that it be paid in arrears and with accruing interest. 4, investigates the circumstances that led to the fraudulent acquisition of Kishushe Cooperative Ranch title deed, number CR 65748, and recommend that it be revoked forthwith. Number 5, recommends that Samruda Resources Kenya Limited stops its mining operations at Kishushe until it makes an agreement with the community members of Kishushe as guided by Section 36 of the Community Land Act of 2016. 6, takes any other appropriate action it deems fit to resolve the matters raised herein. And your petitioners will ever pray, dated this 21st day of your Lord, February 2019, countersigned Senator Jonas Maruma, Taita Taveta County. Mr. Speaker, I think this petition is quite self-explanatory, and I would wish that it be expedited promptly because the people of Kishushe are really suffering. Some of the things that are highlighted here have been already resolved because it has taken a lot of time to dispense of this petition. For example, there is already a community development agreement between the community and the investor. But there are so many pending issues that are highlighted here that need to be resolved. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Zani Agnes.
Asante Bwana mzungumzishi kwa nafasi hii ya kuunga mkono kakangu Senator Mwaruma kwa maombi haya ambayo ameleta, na nafikiri ni majuzi tu alileta maombi mengine kama haya yakihusu watu ambao wanaishi Kishushe. Yaonesha hii shida bado haijaangaliwa kikamilifu na ile shida bado inaendelea. Si sawa Bwana mzungumzishi kwamba jamii yoyote iteseke kwa sababu wana madini ama wako na mali katika ardhi yao ambao wawekezaji wanataka kuitumia. Na huwa kuna muungano ama kuelewana, maelewano ambayo yanawekwa juu ya vile ambavyo mwananchi anapasa kufanya na vile ambavyo mwekeaji mwenyewe anafaa kufanya. Na tunaona mambo haya yasipofanywa yanaleta shida. Na Bwana mzungumzishi, ni maneno yale yale yanajitokeza kila wakati. Hapa kuna ardhi ambayo imechukuliwa, kwa hivyo kuna watu ambao ardhi yao imechukuliwa. Na nakumbuka kipindi kilichopita tulikuwa upande wa Kishushe tukiangalia mambo mengine ambayo yalikuwa yanahusu kamati nyingine, na tulipata mambo ya kustajabisha sana. Tulikuta watu ambao wanafanya kazi katika upande wa madini wakituambia kwamba wakishamaliza saa ile wanatoka, lazima watoe nguo zao zote na waangaliwe kwamba hawakuiba chochote. Wanaangaliwa katika sehemu za siri, wanaangaliwa, wanakosa kwamba hawa ni binadamu, kwa sababu yule mwekezaji anaona kwamba pengine madini yake imeibiwa. Ukiangalia upande wa chakula, ukiangalia juu upande wa nguo, ukiangalia upande wa pesa ambazo wanalipwa, na ukiangalia hawa wawekezaji wenyewe wanapata pesa nyingi sana. Na kama kumekuwa na makubaliano ambayo yameandikwa, ni sawa kwamba yale makubaliano yafuatwe, kwa sababu hapa yaonesha mnyonge ndio kila siku anapata shida. Kama watu wameshakubaliana na wameweka cheti cha makubaliano kwamba mambo yatafanywa hivi na vile, kwa nini baadaye watu wanageuka? Na mshukuru kakangu kwa sababu bahati nzuri wakaazi wa Kishushe wana seneta kama Senator Mwaruma ambayo ameleta malalamishi yao hapa. Malalamishi juu ya pesa, malalamishi juu ya fedha yao, malalamishi yote ambayo wamefanya juu ya pesa ni muhimu yaangaliwe katika maombi haya Bwana mzungumzishi, na ni maombi yetu kama seneti kwamba komiti ambayo itafanya kazi hii, kamati ambayo itafanya kazi hii, waharakishe wafanye hii kazi kwa haraka na waharakishe sana, ili hawa wakazi wa Kishushe wapate kufurahia madini, kupate kufurahia mazingara yao, na wasiketi kwa shida kwa sababu wekezaji wameona waingie pale na wachukua wanachochukua na watese wananchi hawa. Nashukuru Bwana mzungumzishi.
Senator Mogeni Enoch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I also rise to support this statement by my good friend, the Senator for Taveta. But, Mr. Speaker, this petition raises very serious issues. The Constitution that we enacted in 2010, in Article 69, is clear that natural resources and minerals should be exploited for the benefit of the locals and for future generations. But what I've heard from the senator, the good senator from Taveta, is worrying. Mr. Speaker, I can't understand how the so-called investors can come to our country, go to a county, allocate themselves land, and they proceed and are issued with a title deed. That's something that should worry this House. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, the committee that is going to be tasked with looking into this matter will go to the depth of this issue, Mr. Speaker. There's no way we are going to guarantee that our future generations will benefit from these natural resources if foreigners are going to have titles of our natural and resources and minerals. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, we need to interrogate as a Senate, what is the role of our National Land Commission? Where is the National Land Commission in all this? Under the Constitution, Article 67, the National Land Commission should be managing public land on behalf of national and county governments. So where are they when titles are being issued to the so-called private investors? 3, Mr. Speaker, nobody can leave this country and go to another foreign country, may it be London or Germany, anywhere in Europe, set up a business and start exploiting the inhabitants of that country. This business where investors come to our country, Mr. Speaker, and then they start misusing the labor of the Kenyans we are supposed to represent is something that we should take very seriously as a House. So I hope, Mr. Speaker, that this issue of poor remuneration of people who are working for these investors can be looked into by maybe the Committee on Labor. And we make serious recommendations. We should not allow investors who can just walk in, exploit our locals, subject them to inhuman and deplorable conditions. Then they make profits which they return back to their countries. Because our locals should benefit. I fully support this petition, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kilonzo Mutula Jr.
Thank you, Speaker. Is it a coincidence that yesterday, while contributing to the bill on natural resources, I actually mentioned this area called Kishushe, because I know the place very well. A lot of the residents from Makueni are working in Kishushe. Mr. Speaker, I said yesterday that it's a contradiction that Taita Taveta County is one of the poorest counties in Kenya, yet we have billionaires upon billionaires who are mining most precious stones in Taita Taveta. Mr. Speaker, a lot of these investors are untouchable. They remind me of the owner of Solai Dam, people who are law unto themselves. Police cannot go there. The county government cannot go there. Mr. Speaker, the violations of the rights of Kenyans, poor Kenyans working in these mines, is not even what Senator Maruma has mentioned here. If this Senate was to bother, like we have done in many cases, and I propose, Mr. Speaker, that you make a proper direction on this one, if Senate was to visit the mines in Kishushe and part of Taita Taveta County, you would visit the worst violations, beyond violations of both labor laws, human rights, and others, but by people who, Mr. Speaker, have refused to be subject of the law. If there's one place where there is impunity, Kishushe is number one, and the mines in Taita Taveta ought to benefit the people of Taita Taveta. Mr. Speaker, the only institution that is going to protect the interests of Taita Taveta County is the Senate. May we please visit, whichever committee is given this opportunity, invite me. I am prepared to carry my constitution and the law books so that we deal with these people. We cannot continue this way. Thank you.
Senator Mwenye Haji.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia lalamiko lilioletwa na Senator Maruma, Senator County ya Taita Taveta. Mheshimiwa Spika, imekuwa sasa madini ambayo yanapatikana katika sehemu tofauti katika nchi yetu ya Kenya imekuwa kama laana kwa wakazi. Kwa sababu badala ya madini yale kuwasaidia wao, madini haya yamekuwa ni chombo cha kuwadhalilisha na kuwanyima haki zao kama raia wa Kenya na binadamu kwa jumla. Mheshimiwa Spika, ukiangalia sehemu za Taita Taveta, Kishushe, mpaka kule Kakamega ambako watu wanachimba madini ya dhahabu na kwengineko, utapata kwamba hali za wafanyaji kazi katika sehemu zile ziko duni sana. Na hii imeletwa na sheria zetu kwamba hazilindi maslahi ya wakazi na maslahi ya wafanyaji kazi katika sehemu zile. Utapata sheria nyingi zinamlinda yule mwekezaji zaidi kuliko kulinda Wakenya na wenye rasilimali zile ambao Mwenyezi Mungu amewaruzuku ziwe katika sehemu zao. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tunapochunguza lalamiko la watu wa Kishushe, inafaa tuangazie zile sehemu zingine ambako pia madini kama haya yanaleta shida. Kwa mfano, sehemu tofauti za Kilifi ambako kupatikana madini ya magnesium, imekuwa pia ni shida kwa wakazi, kwa sababu wanakuja wawekezaji wakiwadhulumu haki zao na kuchukua ardhi zao bila ya kulipa fidia zozote. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Halake Abshiro.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the petition by the Honorable Senator of Taita Taveta. I think this House has a duty to ensure that Kenyans earn fair pay, no matter who it is. Mr. Speaker, sometimes we talk about investors as if other sectors, I know the sector of mining perhaps is the point of focus and point of discussion here today, but all sectors, including the agricultural sector, I know women who go to pick coffee from morning to evening and don't even get any money. Sometimes they work for food. They're given a bucket of maize or something ridiculous like that. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this House would do well to look at the whole issue of fair pay for people working in certain sectors, including our agricultural sector, our mining sector, our oil and gas sector, and every sector, including the informal sector of domestic workers. So I think it's about time we looked at good legal frameworks, but especially implementation of whatever regulations and minimum pay regulations that exist in this country, so that then we're not just looking at piecemeal. We need to look at this very holistically, because I can tell you for a fact that every sector is affected and that the conditions under which people, especially in the informal sectors, are working is deplorable, and we must, as this House, really look at this more holistically. Mr. Speaker, of course, the mining sector, and especially Taita Taveta and other places where people are mining gold and stuff, the safety issues are also an issue, but I think, as I support, I think we should look at this issue of fair pay and humane treatment of our informal sector workers seriously and legislate if we need to. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I support.
Senator Mazayo Stewart.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka kwanza kumshukuru ndugu yangu Mwaruma kwa kuleta hii petition hapa. Kitu cha kwanza ni kwamba madini ni kitu ambacho kimeletwa na Mwenyezi Mungu mwenyewe, na madini ziko za aina mbalimbali. Tukiangalia pande za Turkana wamepata mafuta, tukiangalia pande za pwani hususan upande wa Kilifi kumepatikana vitu kama mawe, chumvi, yote yanakuwa ni madini ya watu wa zile sehemu wanazotoka. Kungekuwa na sheria mwafaka, na hususan watu wanaohusikana na kufanya kazi kwa maeneo yale kuangaliwa vyema na wale ambao wanahusika na kutoa hayo madini. Hivi sasa kuna upungufu ama kuna udhaifu wa aina kama hizo. Kwa Bwana Spika, ingekuwa vyema pia mimi naunga mkono hili tatizo ambalo liko katika haya maeneo ambayo madini yanatoka. Asante Bwana Spika.
Senator Lagat Christopher.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance. Also to support the petition from Taita Taveta, as represented by Senator Mwaruma. And I want to say that our Committee on Tourism one time visited Taita Taveta, and the issues that are in Taita Taveta are so funny. First, 65% of the land is occupied by the animals, and the only benefit they get, I don't know, it's not even a benefit. They have nothing to benefit from the wildlife development completely. The world simply crisscross them and go to the national government. And even the destruction that has been caused always by these animals, when we were there, it's only 3 people who had been compensated for the last 6 years. And I want to say we also we also heard about the same people complaining about mining. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we discovered that mining in Taita Taveta is not controlled by any legal framework. It is entirely the work done by the cartels, and the people from Taita Taveta is watching people come, get rich, and go. And even it's my opinion that we really support these particular people from Taita Taveta, at least, to make things very normal and formal, so that even any mining company that registers some interest in the same place may even play some corporate social responsibility, at least to assist people from Taita Taveta. Otherwise, I want to say that, Mr. Speaker, when we went to Taita Taveta, people are suffering. I'm even wondering why they have not called for food relief. Yet when we were there were a lot of hunger among the people. So I want to say that I support that particular petition fully, and I want to say it's a long time overdue. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Sakaja Johnson.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank Senator Mwaruma, Mulamu, for bringing this petition. And just to add to what members have said, that it is really unfortunate that in this country, the areas that have the greatest wealth, which is under the ground, are the areas with the greatest levels of poverty, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we cannot claim to be a country that is independent and a country that is working for the interests of its people when those who actually, by virtue of what God gifted them, are not able to reap the proper benefit of these blessings, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I know that county extremely well. There are some areas where the projects we're doing in Undanyi, Mwanda, helping my relatives there, Mr. Speaker. It's sad that in those areas, even if it's a classroom, even if it is, and we know, and I think Senator Zani brought a very good discussion in the last parliament on content sharing, on local content, and how the local community must benefit, and there must be agreements done between these companies, our county governments, and national government. So the first beneficiary of our mineral wealth and our constitution is very clear in the chapter on lands, the chapter on resources, must be there, Mr. Speaker. But today, Mr. Speaker, if you go to Ikolomani, Mr. Speaker, which is my home, Ikolomani is a corruption of the world gold mine in Kakamega. The level of poverty is alarming. If you go to the Olgorian in Kilgoris, in Narok County, where they have gold, the level of poverty is enormous. If you go to Turkana, where we're even now sending food to them, they have oil, they have aquifers, but it does not reflect on the livelihoods of those people. So, Mr. Speaker, I would just like to add that the committee that is going to look at this, please let's take it seriously and make sure that the laws that have been passed by this House, including the last House, Mr. Speaker, are followed to the letter, and that if there are cartels, those cartels are brought to book. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and Senator Mwaruma.
We have 10 more minutes, so Senator Wetangula and Wambua will share 5-5.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Handshakes are for opposing parties. Wambua is part and parcel of me. Mr. Speaker, I support this petition brought by the distinguished senator for Taita Taveta. Mr. Speaker, recently I visited Taita Taveta to visit some of MCAs elected on my party. And the level of poverty I saw, Mr. Speaker, was mind-boggling. Mr. Speaker, when the Jubilee government came to power, the president announced that he was going to pay attention of the highest level to the extractive industry, which is mining. But you look around the country, Mr. Speaker, in Turkana, apart from the ravaging hunger, there is total chaos around the extraction of oil. Residents are fighting with the investors. The government is a helpless bystander. And in the process, criminal gangs rule.
Explicit that the exploitation of resources in any part of this country must be done for the benefit of local communities. As Speaker, this is a basic universal standard, and it's very unfortunate that in counties where these resources are to be found, these counties are also synonymous with poverty and deprivation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the best way of dealing with this thing, as the petition moves to the committee stage, there is need to lay emphasis on benefit sharing agreements where communities are signed up with companies exploiting resources to make sure that a percentage share of the benefits accruing from the exploitation of the resources would go back to the communities and be utilized, Mr. Speaker, to improve the lives and livelihoods of the people where mining takes place. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by saying that this matter of mining and the unfair treatment of people working in mines will be found not just in Taita Taveta, but in other counties like Kitui, where we also have iron ore and coal, in places like Turkana, where we have oil now. And Mr. Speaker, I would say that let us now move beyond just debate, but take action that would bring benefit to the people in those mining areas. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, honorable senators, pursuant to standing orders 2321, the petition stands committed to the Standing Committee on Lands, Environment, and Natural Resources. In terms of Standing Order 232, the committee is required in not more than 60 days from the time of reading the prayer to respond to the petitioner by way of a report addressed to the petitioner and laid on the table of the House. But like they have raised concerns, I think it would be important to have a practical solutions to this problem. The recommendations you make must be practical, and like members have also said, maybe we need to revisit the mining bill so that we have something that is going to guide us in addressing this issue, because we have kept on talking about it and it keeps coming. Honorable senators, there's another. Okay. I have a petition submitted through the clerk by Dr. Eric Mugambi Kinywa. As you are aware, under Article 119.1 of the Constitution, and I quote, every person has a right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority, including enacting, amending, or repealing any legislation. 3 honorable senators, the subject of the petition relates to the review of the basic education curriculum framework by the Ministry of Education. The salient issues raised are, A, that the Ministry of Education recognizes nursery schools, kindergartens, daycare centers, and home-based learning as necessary institutions offering pre-primary education, as well as recognizing them in the basic education curriculum framework. B, that the subjects proposed to be taught in upper primary, junior, and senior secondary school should be recognized and, where necessary, merged to accommodate the 85 subjects proposed compared to the current 25 subjects studied in the 844. C, that village polytechnics be transformed into technical secondary schools to offer career and technology studies to accommodate the 100% transmission from primary to secondary school policy, as well as allow artisan courses currently offered in village polytechnics to be taught in secondary schools. D, that the number of minimum subjects proposed to be done by specific pupils be equal in all the tracks in secondary school. E, that the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, KICD, should issue curriculum designs or syllabus for grades 4 to 12 before proceeding with further piloting of the basic education curriculum. F, that adult education centers should be recognized as providers of basic education in the BECF, which shall offer subjects with specific interests providing lifelong learning to citizens who need skills. G, that a two-tier approach be considered in implementing the 2633 system to avoid an overlap for students joining secondary schools by pioneering class, especially for students who are currently under the 844 system. 4, the petitioner has delivered hard copies explaining the above issues to the Ministry of Education, KICD, and other several national offices that guide education policies, and only one response has been received from the Director of KICD, informing the petitioner that the issues would be addressed during implementation. 5, the petitioner therefore prays that the Senate investigates this matter and makes appropriate recommendations. Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 231, I shall now allow comments, observations, or clarifications in relation to the petition for not more than 30 minutes. Senator Kilonzo Mutula Jr.
Mr. Speaker, I just thought on a point of order that a similar issue was raised yesterday. Similar concerns were raised by Senator Wetangula to the Committee of Education, and the Committee of Education, together with other issues raised by Senator Kirinyaga yesterday, would I be in order to suggest, Mr. Speaker, that the question posed yesterday to the committee together with this petition be forwarded alongside the issues raised by the various senators, particularly on the 100% transition and the TVETs that Senator Wetangula ably raised yesterday. Thank you.
Okay, I know it will still be going to the same Committee on Education, but maybe we could give an opportunity to those who never had an opportunity to speak, like Mbogo Jojo Chilayako.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to make a few appropriate remarks on this matter. Mr. Speaker, 100% transition from primary school to secondary school is a noble idea. It's through education that all of us progress. If it wasn't for the good education and the opportunity we were accorded, we would not be here. Perhaps we would be in different nations if we are pastoralists. We would be in different professions, and quite a number of us would probably be in jail or dead because of acts of savagery and criminal activities that most young people indulge in when they are not educated. Mr. Speaker, this issue is a cliffhanger. It's a dangerous issue. In and from where I am, it is not quite clear that our counties, our sub-counties, and our institutions have been adequately resourced, have been adequately empowered to ensure that there is a smooth transition. In Migori County, if you look at the number of trainers, the number of tutors, the number of complete institutions that would be able to absorb young persons from primary school to secondary school are still wanting. Currently, as recruitment or replacement of teachers is underway, we were only allocated a paltry 12 teachers to replace the ones who retired or the ones who ceased teaching because of natural attrition. Mr. Speaker, this is a serious situation. Now, Mr. Speaker, you are also aware of the runaway poverty that we experience in most counties, and Migori is included. You are also aware of challenges that we have with girl children. The girl children in Kuria sub-counties, Kuria East, Kuria West, and Nyatike are very vulnerable because they do not have sufficient social support network to continue holding them in school. Now, if we are talking about 100% transition to secondary school, resources are not trickling down from our national treasury, and we do not have equipment to take on this onerous responsibility. It would be appropriate for the relevant departmental committee or standing committee looking at this matter to ensure that we are ready, to ensure that as they bring a report regarding this petition, and also regarding the question that was raised yesterday by Senator Wetangula, they get information regarding our state of preparedness. They get information regarding how each county is able to fit in this otherwise noble idea, but an idea that seems to be inadequately resourced. Mr. Speaker, I beg to support the petitioner for raising an issue that ought to be raised and looked at seriously. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Nyamunga Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I would like also to support the petitioner because it is important for us to have 100% transition from secondary schools, from primary school to secondary schools. But Mr. Speaker, the way we are doing it, I don't think we are adding any value to most of our students. And then if you look at the preparedness at the county levels, it is really wanting. You find that there are 100 or even more than 100 babies in the primary, the nursery schools. They just go through the full year or even 2 years without learning things. So it means that by the time they are going to class 1, they are not properly prepared. So we should really urge the county governments to make sure that there are enough primary schools in all the localities where we need to have our nursery schools, and also we should have proper and good, properly trained teachers to take care of these children. Because if you are going to have very large classes, since we now have free primary education, it means that if we don't prepare these children properly at the nursery level, they are going to go to the primary schools without knowing anything. I remember during my time, I went to class 1 when I had known a lot of English, I had known everything. In fact, I would have been most of us, we learned our English in nursery school. So if we are going to pass these children without learning anything, they just go to school, learn. Sometimes the classrooms are not even taken care of. There's dust all over. They just catch disease instead of learning anything. So it is important. And whatever level, even if it is adult education, it should be done properly. The education system of Kenya has been very strong. The standard of education has been very strong. And Kenyans are very well educated. Why? Because we have been properly prepared at every level. But if you are going to do half-baked things and expect to get good results, that will not be forthcoming. So I support the petitioner, and it is important that we urge the county governments and everybody else who is in charge of any form of education at any level. I support, Mr. Speaker.
Since the matter was already discussed, I'll give the remaining speakers 3 minutes. Agnes Zani.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. And it's true, and I think this petition is good, and I think it will be going probably to the Education Committee to streamline some of the issues, especially regarding ECDC. And we know the committee is spearheading an ECD bill that might address some of these issues, but I think, Mr. Speaker, the incongruency is coming because from the various stages, there's no linking. So the policy itself is okay, but it has several problems, several challenges. For example, dropping out of school because some of the related costs are hidden costs. Some families are not able to handle. That creates even more extreme poverty within areas. There's big congestion in both primary schools, in both classes, day schools and in boarding schools. Mr. Speaker, about 1,052,364 candidates are expected to join an already congested group of 2 million from the previous 2018 data. So clearly we're talking about a big number that is coming in suddenly. And as much as this was meant to help improve access, retention, and completion of secondary schools, some of the issues that are being raised are key issues that I think that need to be handled with care so that we ensure that that transition policy is actually incorporated. I think we support the petition because this will also highlight and help to streamline the education sector as far as this policy is concerned. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wetangula Moses.
Mr. Speaker, that petition by Dr. Eric Mugambi just captures the mood of what Dr. Zani brought here yesterday. And I want to urge the committee to look deep into this erratic change of policies in the Ministry of Education. Why did we bring 844 in the first place? Why did we abandon it when nobody was protesting that it was not working? And I would want, Mr. Speaker, as the chairman seeks information, to tell the House and the country why Kenya has not found it fit and necessary to align its education system with the East African Community region that has primary, secondary, higher secondary of Form 5 and 6, and then university, so that we can be able to capture students from the region and also our students to go to regional schools and be able to learn in those countries. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I would want the chairman to also find a way of giving us a dummy costing of all these changes if we are to have effective learning in our schools. How do you talk of 100% transition when you are not giving schools teachers? Children just go to school to play and go home in the evening. So in fact, Mr. Speaker, what this country is doing is turning education into an elitist enterprise. Those who can manage take their children to academies where they pay heavily for their children to learn. And at the end of the day, a child in Turkana battling hunger, battling bandits, battling everything, and learning under a tree has to face the same examination with a child in Kilimani Junior Academy. It can't work, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Finally, Senator Sakaja.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank Dr. Mungai for exercising his constitutional right and Article 119 to petition Parliament. Mr. Speaker, in addition to what members have said, the objective of 100% transition cannot be just to keep children in school. It must be to prepare them for a future. Mr. Speaker, many of our schools have become simply daycare centers. Because even in primary school, I know very many schools where children in class 8 cannot read. Because they have gone with the crowd from class 1 to class 8 just humming at the back of the class, yet they cannot even answer those questions. And they're as good as children at ECD. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to urge the chair of this committee, as he looks at both petitions, and he should realize that he can actually deal with both petitions jointly. He needs to be able to, Mr. Speaker, invite on top of the Ministry of Education and the Institute of Curriculum Development, the Ministry of Labor. Because, Mr. Speaker, we passed a bill in this House that I sponsored on National Employment Authority that said that we must streamline our education with what the market needs, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, at the time a child goes to university from high school, they need to be going to do a course, Mr. Speaker, that is going to give them a job. Many of the courses we have in our universities, much of the education in our schools, are only postponing the unemployment of our young people, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, they must look at quality, they must look at access, they must look at suitability of what we're teaching our children. Many of these causes, and Mr. Speaker, that bill, and that, actually it's an act, it's a law, brings together the Federation of Employers, of course, the trade unions, Mr. Speaker. It brings together the curriculum people, and all of those who are charged with looking at where, manufacturers, etc., looking at what the market is going to need in the next 5, 10 years. That is what we need to tailor-make our curriculum to be about. It can't just be about keeping children in a classroom for so many years. Mr. Speaker, when it is the fact which is actually prevailing in our country today, that a lot of those who are unemployed are not unemployed because they don't have education. That when you find matatu touts with degrees, there's a problem with the education system. Mr. Speaker, when you find house girls with diplomas and degrees, there is a problem with the education system. It is not suitable to what this market needs and to what the international economy has now become. So as we look at those curriculum issues, Mr. Speaker, let them look at it with a mind to making sure that we are not just keeping children in classrooms, which in many areas, Mr. Speaker, are not adequate, but, Mr. Speaker, that we are guaranteeing and preparing these people for a future where even if they're not going to access employment, they can actually become entrepreneurs and they can create employment for other people, Mr. Speaker. Finally, we need a good justification, Mr. Speaker, because of devolution as to why a child in Turkana County or a child in Trans Nzoia County cannot, by the time they are 18, have been prepared for the economic needs and activities of that county, even before streamlining the career choice, Mr. Speaker. A one-size-fits-all cannot work in this country. A child from Senator Ledama's county should be able to, by the time they are finished Form 4, be able to deal with issues of agriculture and livestock, etc. You know, and the needs there are different from Taita.
Okay, Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 232-1, the petition stands committed to the relevant Standing Committee for its consideration, in this case, the Standing Committee on Education. In terms of Standing Order 232-2, the committee is required in not more than 60 days from the time of reading the prayer to respond to petitioner by way of a report addressed to the petitioner and laid on the table of the Senate. I thank you. What's your point of order, Senator Wetangula?
Mr. Speaker, some 3 weeks ago, there was a round of protest in this House in the manner in which petitions stay for too long with committees. And we did implore with the chair that, in fact, when you set the deadline...
I have just read out Senator Dulo 232-2. And remember very well, the last time when you were on that seat, and the Hansard can bear me witness, you said the report should be shared so that we interrogate the report. Now, before you came to the chair, the speaker who was on the chair said he's going to give me an opportunity to comment on the petition. Now you have come in yourself, you are saying you are not going to allow any debate, any observation, any comments. Kindly, can you give us direction? Order, 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 order. Before you assist, what is your contention, Senator Dulo? That you are allowed to debate? Is that your point of order, that you are allowed to debate? To comment? To that extent, you are right, but that comment should not involve the merits or demerits, or because you have to distinguish between debate and comment. What is it, Senator Moses Wetangula?
Mr. Speaker, you quoted Standing Order 232-2. And my reading seems to vary in understanding with your interpretation. Mr. Speaker, 232-2, whenever a petition is committed to a standing committee, the committee shall, in not more than 60 days, from the time of reading the prayer, respond to the petitioner by way of a report addressed to the petitioner or petitioners and laid on the table of the Senate, and no debate on or in relation to the report shall be allowed. Mr. Speaker, you only read up to that point. But if you read on, it says, but the Speaker may, it now gives you the discretion, allow comments or observations in relation to the petition for not more than 30 minutes. My understanding, Mr. Speaker, is that when the petition is first presented by the Speaker, you can allow comments on the petition for not more than 30 minutes. Equally, when the report is laid, you may use your discretion to still allow comments on the report for not more than 30 minutes. It gives you a double discretion, Mr. Speaker. It does not say at what level you should allow, and in a broad interpretation of the standing orders. And our own Constitution says, in reading and appreciating our Constitution, you must not take a narrow view. You must interpret it broadly. Interpreting broadly, Mr. Speaker, my opinion, and I believe I'm right, being your senior in law, that, Mr. Speaker, the discretion is two-pronged, at the presentation of the petition and at the receipt of the report.
Order, Senator Wetangula. I shall say no more. Order. I welcome further comments on that point, but my understanding of 232 is that the observations and comments are in respect to the petition, not in respect to the report. Concerning the report, there shall be no debate. Concerning the petition, there shall be observations and comments. So the 30 minutes, Senator Wetangula, and that's why I said I don't want to make further comments to the allegation or to the fact that you mentioned, because it could be prejudicial. There is a difference between comments and observations on the report and comments and observations on the petition. Senator Kaniri, would you want to make a comment around that particular standing order?
Mr. Speaker, you are very right, and both issues are covered in the two standing orders. 231, that now deals comments on a petition once it's presented to the House. 232 deals with when the report has been tabled. So you are right, and I think both of you are right. Mheshimiwa Wetangula is right. You have discretion.
Both of us cannot
twice.
be right.
No, Mr. Speaker. Senator Wetangula said you have double discretion, which is very true, that in 231, when the petition is presented to the House, you have a discretion to allow a 30 minutes observations and comments. And it's very clear, 231. But 232 is when the report is tabled. Then you also have the discretion to allow comments and observation. Mr. Speaker, for 30 minutes.
Thank you, Senator Kaniri. You're one of the most, the longest serving members of Parliament. So I have no doubt, in my mind that you have applied yourself to this standing order. However, if you look at the crafting of 232.2, there is a difference between the report and the petition. And therefore, my earlier interpretation, which Senator Dulo said was contradictory, stands, that there shall be no debate on the report. But that standing order, in my view, based on what Senator Haniri has said and Senator Wetangula, is not very clear. Because if the intention was to separate between the procedure when the petition is read versus when the report on the petition is brought to the House, then there seems to be some contradiction towards the last part of that standing order, because it's distinguishing between no debate on the report, but there can be comments and observations. That is contradictory, because trying to demarcate between what constitute debates and comments and observations could in itself be problematic. Having said that, I will apply standing order number 1. I made a very extensive ruling during the last session on the application of standing order number 1, that in spite of the ambiguity on 232.2, I consider that this is a matter that is applicable to standing order number 1. And therefore, I'll allow some remarks from Senator Dulo on that report. For not more than 5 minutes, Senator Dulo, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for being kind enough to allow us a comment on this particular petition, which has hit the headline of this country. And according to me, it's a matter that is really very critical for this House, because it's an oversight role of the Senate. And I think it's a matter that we should be able to comment on it so that it doesn't just pass like that. Mr. Speaker, let me first take this opportunity to thank the committee members having done the report despite several challenges. And I believe members have looked at the report and they have seen what are the contents of the observations and also recommendation of the report. But let me say that I agree to a certain extent the observations and the recommendations made by the committee. One of it, Mr. Speaker, is they have agreed to some extent with the petitioners that the whole process that was taken by the county government of Isiolo was illegal. To that extent, they have agreed with the petitioners, and I also agree with them. Mr. Speaker, again, what the committee has done is that they have actually recommended, or rather observed, that the PFM Act in the whole process was not complied with, which is also something that is very good to the House and also to the petitioners and also to the county, Mr. Speaker. Again, Mr. Speaker, I would like to say that the committee has actually said the whole process should be halted and the anomalies should be corrected and report back to the same committee. But I do disagree with that particular recommendation, Mr. Speaker, because once the petition is brought to the House and the committee reports, that particular report becomes the property of the House and it's not the property of the committee. So I disagree to that extent with the committee. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the committee mentioned that public participation was done properly in this process. I totally disagree because I presented personally and the petitioners presented a ticket that was used then by the county government to allow public participation to take place. And as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Speaker, public participation is an open forum. So to me, I still hold my position and hold the position of the petitioners that public participation was not done properly. The other point, Mr. Speaker, which is very critical, I wanted to raise here, you cannot say the whole process was illegal and you say that the money that was utilized for illegal process should not be refunded. That is contradiction in itself because the whole transaction, the whole procurement process was illegal. So if there was illegality from the word go, the committee cannot go and make a decision that the money utilized for the illegal process should not be refunded. That is totally wrong, Mr. Speaker. Now, the company that was actually contracted for this particular purpose, and I believe, according to me, I gave a certificate that was certified by the registrar of companies with a seal. If I'm required to table that, I'll table it. All that process was changed after the company and the county government appeared before the committee. Mr. Speaker, for the committee to say that the company was registered with Poisons and Pharmacies Board, that was actually something that was done much later after the petition was tabled in this House.
Your 5
Mr.
minutes
Speaker,
are over. Please wind up. Your 5 minutes are over.
I am winding up. But let me say in finality that the petition was successful as far as I'm concerned. And I hope the relevant authorities that were supposed to share this report will be shared with them to make sure that justice is given to the people of Isiolo County. And secondly, the Senate should actually carry out its oversight role without fear or favor. I thank you.
Very well. What is it, Senator Malala? You're on a point of order? Senator Sakaja? Okay. Very well. That brings us to the end of that order. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 27, 2019, report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Garissa Water and Sewerage Company for the year ended 30th June 2015. B, report of the Auditor General on financial statement of County Assembly of Kitui Staff Car and Mortgage Loan Scheme for the year ended 30th June 2017. I thank you.
Chairperson, Standing Committee on Finance and Budget. Proceed, Chairperson.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 27th March 2019. Report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the annual report of the county government's budget implementation review for the financial year 2017-2018.
Chairperson, Roads and Transportation.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 27th March 2019. Report of the Standing Committee of Roads and Transportation on its consideration of the County Planning, Roads, Pavements, and Parking Base Bill, Senate Bill number 18 of 2018.
What is it, Senator Sakaja?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, earlier I had raised an issue and on the control of budget with respect to the report that the Chair of Finance has just laid, and I was advised to raise the issue now as he lays that report. Mr.
Who
Speaker,
advised you? The Speaker?
The Speaker.
Okay, proceed.
Sitting on the chair.
Proceed.
Mr.
Doesn't matter where the Speaker is.
No,
Speaker is always the Speaker.
He certainly didn't advise me.
Can issue orders from anywhere.
Or on WhatsApp.
Proceed.
However, Mr. Speaker, it's a very important issue, and I would wish senators would listen to it. Mr. Speaker, we are trying to do oversight, but the oversight we are doing is like a pathologist on historical basis. It adds no value. The leadership of this House, at a meeting I was at, agreed that on top of what we normally get as audit reports, and right now I'm looking at the Nairobi County Audit Report 2017-18 of the current governor, Mike Sonko. On top of the audit reports we get, we agreed as the leadership of the House, and the Chair of Finance will attest to it, that the Controller of Budget will be sending to every senator elected on from a geographical constituency called a county. For instance, the senator of Tharaka Nithi will receive a monthly exchequer release report of how much money has been sent to Tharaka Nithi and for what. In fact, the Controller of Budget requested that we all give our email addresses so that we can have real-time accountability and so that the senator can be informed of what is happening in his county
instead of doing a postmortem years later. Up to date, Mr. Speaker, that has not been agreed upon. And so as the chair has tabled an annual report, we're asking, where is the monthly exchequer release report that is supposed to be sent to every senator representing a county, Mr. Speaker? It is extremely crucial, and if others are not interested in it, I am very interested in receiving that every month for the county of Nairobi, Mr. Speaker.
That's an important point, Chair. You've noted the concerns of Senator Sakaja. You need to follow it up with the CRA.
Mr. Speaker, this matter was discussed when the leadership was meeting in Windsor. And the controller herself did say that they send monthly report on exchequer releases to counties, and we challenged her because none of us actually is receiving it. So it is in the report of the leadership, which is now before the SBC, which we are going through. In fact, what we need to do now is to quickly develop all the emails of the senators and make a communication to the controller so that, you know, arising from what she said in that meeting and what we decided, she can actually be now requested to send that information as agreed in that meeting and as she promised. I thank you.
Why don't you, to quicken issues, why don't you get the contacts of all the senators and on behalf of this House, as the chairperson of the committee, liaise with the CRA and ask them to start honoring that agreement with immediate effect?
COB, correction COB. Mr. Speaker, yes, I can do that, but officially, I think communication between Senate and the COB should be through the clerk. I think we'll give the information. In fact, when I was bending there, I was getting, telling the clerk, let's get the list of all them.
But it could also be a directive that your committee gets seized of the matter, instead of waiting for letters.
I will do that.
Senator Sakaja?
I just want to inform the good chair that, Mr. Speaker, this is a matter I followed up. And the clerk of the Senate actually responded to me and informed me that they indeed have sent all the contact details of all senators to the control of budget. So, Mr. Speaker, it would be in order for you to direct that the chair now follows up directly as he plays oversight role on the control of budget with the control of budget instead of trying to collect another round of email addresses and delaying it. Because she has all our email addresses. Why is she not giving us the exchequer release reports?
I thought that's what I directed. That is exactly what I directed the chair to do. It's an issue now within your committee. You follow up on behalf of the House. Get in touch with the CRA, the COB, and Senator Sakaja, would you be interested in a response from the chair in a week's time of progress made?
I'll be very interested. Very interested, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. So ordered. What is out of order, Senator, for Migori County?
Mr. Speaker, just to expand on, or to request you to expand on your directive, I heard Senator Sakaja say that each member elected in a county should be given the most recent disbursement. I wanted to request that if you can make the disbursements, the information available nationally, so that I'm not just restricted to information coming or regarding Migori. I would like to know everything about everywhere, because I oversight everywhere, so that I do not just become a Migori senator, I become a national senator, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just to ride on what Senator Sakaja said, I've heard him insisting that it should be through email. I know there are some colleagues who are not comfortable with even WhatsApp, so I would request that you expand your directive so that hard copies can be provided for, because not all of us are good with technology or even WhatsApp, so they can expand that directive.
What is it, Senator Rose Nyamunga?
Mr. Speaker, I think I recognize the fact that there are some senators who are elected in their counties, but we are also representatives of Kenya. So we cannot narrow it down that they will only the elected 47 senators should get a report. The report should be made available to all of us. We look at it nationally because we represent everybody in this country.
Now, you see now, this intervention is becoming like a motion for debate. So unless you have something extremely new and novel, I urge you to restrain yourself so that we can make progress. What is it, Senator for Kakamega?
I want to believe that whatever I'm going to say is novel. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to comment on what my good Senator Nyamunga, said that we have, yes, we respect that we have nominated senators who represent the country, but the control of budget deals with 47 counties. So how I wish the control of budget just deals with the 47 senators, and as heads of delegations, we shall be able to share with our colleagues in our respective delegations. But the issue of sharing with everybody matters pertaining to Kakamega County, and I think it's fair enough if we just dealt with head of delegations, and then we shall share with them as a delegation, because this is a matter that affects counties. Thank you.
Senator Faria.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want you to rule Senator Malala for being out of order. That is public information, because that is public funds. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to support Senator for Migori, because when you get everything, then you have comparison for parity. You know, how is it that some others get and others don't get? So that information is very important for everybody. Thank you.
Senator Olekina.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you. I believe we do have a solution to that problem in this House. We rely on technology, and I can say that in front of us are iPads. So I would involve the clerk's office, once they receive this information, to share that information here so that any senator who wants can be able to get into our intranet and get that information. But also sending it to individual senators, I stand here and I bear witness that the Control of Budget has already instructed the regional auditors or the regional Control of Budget officers to communicate with the senators of the elected counties. The Control of Budget has communicated to me. We have shared communication. I've received certain information from the Control of Budget. So yes, I do. So in this case, Mr. Speaker, sir, what I would suggest is this. On top of that information being sent to an individual senator, that information can also be shared with the clerk so that it can be put in our intranet, and then each senator can be able to get, if it is Migori, he will compare Migori with Narok. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Other senators. We are complicating a fairly straightforward issue. This matter was discussed, as the chairperson has said, at the leadership level and canvassed with the Control of Budget for the purpose of dealing with a certain mischief. That is, senators are not able to track disbursements in their counties. That is a mischief. They can't know when their county has not received money, when they have received, and how much, and for what. Now, by getting that information, senators are able to exercise their oversight under 96(3). The logistics of asking and getting this information was agreed that every county, because the COB deals with county governments, every county has an elected senator. And that senator, for purposes of the Constitution and the standing orders, is the head of delegation. Therefore, it is assumed that that information shall be conveyed to, or ought to be conveyed to the elected senator, but the senator is at liberty to share with members of his delegation. I am of the view that this is one of the matters which by inference and analogy falls within Article 123 of the Constitution as a matter concerning counties. And the procedure for voting on matters concerning counties under 123 should, in my view, be the same procedure for treating matters concerning counties. I therefore direct the chairperson of Finance and Budget Committee to follow up on behalf of this House with the controller of budget with immediate effect, express in a formal conversation, in a formal communication, the reservations and observations that senators have made about this information not being available, and request this controller of budget to be providing that information with effect from 1st April 2019 without fail. And therefore, Chairperson, I further direct you report progress of these efforts in 2 weeks' time. So ordered. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statement.
Order. Senator Sakaja, your statement was dispensed with. Is that the only statement? Senator Ochilo Ayako. And we are not doing well, so make it quick, brief, and quick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to ask the chair of Standing Committee on Lands to, understanding order number 48.1, respond to matters arising in Migori County, specifically Nyatike constituency regarding mining. In the response that I request, I want the chair of the committee to provide us with the names, addresses, and directors of companies that are licensed to carry out mining activities in Migori County, particularly in Nyatike constituency. 2, state the number of accidents, disasters, and fatal emergencies that have occurred in the mines in the last 5 years, the persons involved in these accidents or disasters, and whether the victims of these accidents or disasters have received any compensation. 3, explain the measures that have been put in place to safeguard the public or these miners against accidents, disasters, emergencies, and any other thing that may threaten their well-being. And the background of this statement is that there are so many accidents that are going on, and there is runaway poverty. There are so many companies or people who are involved in mining, but there is no proper monitoring or trying to follow up who are these people. The specific mining areas are Makalda, Kolwal, Nyatuoro, Mikei, and Masara. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will ask the Senator to give us 2 weeks to respond to his statement.
Under the prevailing standing orders, you are supposed to discuss that with the Senator and agree accordingly. So I direct that you apply 48.3b. Apply standing order 48.3b. So ordered. Next statement. Senator, Mary Senator. She's not in the house.
Number of people had returned to those homes have been forced back into the camps in Garbatula due to the fresh violence, as you have witnessed on the media. As a result of the ongoing violence, Modogashe town is in a standstill, Mr. Speaker, as even today. And several houses have been burnt by residents from Lagdera and several people killed. The attackers have destroyed the only generator that is used to pump water to the locals, thereby depriving several families of the precious commodity. Security officers who are on site in Modogashe failed to respond to these atrocities were committed on the innocent people of Modogashe. The situation looks bad and more needs to be done by the government if we are to find a longer lasting solution to this dispute. 1 week ago, 4 innocent lives were lost, Mr. Speaker, in Merti sub-county as a result of an attack by bandits believed to be from Samburu County. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, several goats belonging to Isiolo people were also taken away by the same bandits believed to be from Lagdera constituency. This is not the first attack in Isiolo County by our brothers from neighboring counties, Mr. Speaker. These animals have not been recovered to date, neither have the people been compensated, despite the government promise before election that some families are going to be compensated. And these attacks have continued to occur despite presence in the area of security personnel, including the anti-stock theft unit, who are aware of these occurrences. Despite the willingness of people of Isiolo to share their grazing land with their neighbors in the spirit of good neighborliness, these same neighbors have turned against the locals and have resorted to killing locals, destroying their homes, taking away our animals, and rendering them poor. Further to this, the government took livestock from communities during the last drought under the last livestock off-take program, Mr. Speaker. This is very serious. But is yet to compensate the families for the livestock.
2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, they have not been compensated for the animals taken up to date. The government has not resolved the issues of the boundary dispute between ourselves and Meru, but that really needs to be done as quickly as possible. Mr. Speaker, finally, immediately I would request the security personnel to be dispatched to affected areas in order to restore security in the areas and recover stolen animals, resettle the displaced, pay the families their dues as from the livestock off-take program, design appropriate structures of resolving the dispute once and for all. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I would request the Vice Chair of Security to comment on that.
That's not your mandate. Other senators, we are not doing very well. We want to give as many senators as possible to request for statements. We have already overshot our time. And the new standing orders actually should not be allowing some of the things that we are allowing. We can allow when there is time. Today is not one of those days. You are on a point of order, Senator Sakaja. It's a point of order. I hope it's not about the looks. Okay.
No, Mr. Speaker. It's actually just to inform the House, Mr. Speaker, that we're taking this matter seriously. Between now and Monday, going with the committee to that area. And I would also like to invite...
Which area are you going to?
To Isiolo County.
Okay.
But because it's in the same provincial jurisdiction in terms of the security forces, we also want to invite Senator Wako based on what she's asked. Yes, the question she's asked on enumerating numbers we'll bring in 2 weeks, but I think it will be good for her to also come and ask the provincial, the police command, etc., the questions that she has raised, Mr. Speaker. So to inform the House, the Committee on Security takes these issues very, very seriously and works extremely hard, Mr. Speaker.
Well done, Senator Sakaja. Are you on a point of order, Senator Mithika Linturi?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for indulging me on this. Because, Mr. Speaker, Senator, my good neighbor, Senator Ndulo, has really raised a number of issues that are of concern to our two counties. And, Mr. Speaker, so that this good neighborliness is extended for the mutual benefit of the two counties, I would suggest, Mr. Speaker, if you find it in order, because there's just last week when we embarrassed 5 people that were killed in a place called Digashuru in the part of Igembe North, neighboring Isiolo. And there is quite some bit of unease along that particular area. And as far as I am concerned, I have not had a situation whereby we've really different in terms of boundary between Isiolo and Meru, that, Mr. Speaker, if you find it necessary, which I asked you too, that, Mr. Speaker, when the Committee on Security is visiting this place, to kindly consider doing a tour of the border between Isiolo and Meru, where these 5 cases, or where these 5 people were killed, and so that we can be able to ease tension, and so that probably, Mr. Speaker, that time we'll have an opportunity as leaders to talk to our people, to bring about cohesion, and so that people can understand the need to coexist as good neighbors, other than every time we are quarreling over things that can be discussed and sorted through dialogue. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sakaja, is your committee able to indulge the request from Senator Linturi?
Mr. Speaker, because we are using advanced modes of transport, if Senator Linturi accompanies us, I'll confirm to him if it's Saturday or Monday. But if he accompanies us, we'll be able to detour. It's not even a detour. It's substantive. We will rearrange our program. We will start with the Isiolo meeting at the border of Isiolo and Garissa, the Mogodashe issues, and then on our way back, we shall go to to the boundary of Isiolo and Meru County. And I'm sure Senator Mithika shall provide good lunch to encourage the
Order, Senator. I direct that the committee, in examining the issues of insecurity in Modagashe, takes that opportunity also to visit the affected areas at the border of Meru County and Isiolo County. And the Senator for Isiolo, Senator Dulo, Senator for Meru, Senator Mithika Linturi, provide the committee with the necessary cooperation. So ordered. Very well. I'm afraid we have to leave it there. Senator for Migori, you had one more statement request? Briefly. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to seek a statement from the chairperson of the Committee on Defense and National and Foreign Relations regarding a notorious gang in Migori County known as Sangwenya. Now, Mr. Speaker, this gang has been on a rampage and has become full of impunity. As recently as 1st of October, they went and marooned the County Assembly of Migori and mercilessly attacked the distinguished members of the County Assembly. This gang last year was on rampage, has been attacking people. These matters have been reported to Migori Police Station, and these gangs are being transported by vehicles that are owned by the county government of Migori. Now, Mr. Speaker, the members of public in Migori County are very angry, and to avoid a situation where we might be called upon to take laws into our hands and deal decisively with these gangs, I am requesting the chair of the committee to explain under what circumstances the gang has been attacking members of the public in the county, including members of the county assembly, and why they are being ferried by vehicles that belong to the county executive of Migori. 2, explain why the police has not arrested or acted on reports that have been given to the police. And 3, explain the measures that the police are putting in place to prevent a full-out war that might create pandemonium and mayhem in Migori County. It's a county where girls disappear, they get killed by some people. So it's very important that law and order is maintained. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ochilo Yako, what is the difference between mayhem and pandemonium?
Mr. Speaker, mayhem and pandemonium has a little difference because it involves many people.
But I thought the consequence is the same.
The consequence is not the same. One is
Of
more
mayhem,
grievous.
the consequence of mayhem is the same as that of pandemonium.
Pandemonium is more grievous than mayhem. And both are happening in Migori County.
Very well.
Both mayhem and pandemonium.
Very well. Chair, take note and deal accordingly. Senator Dr. Milgo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this chance to ask a question on the recent move by the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, to ban the non-oven polypropylene carrier bags. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to standing order for the one, I rise to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on the recent move by the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, to ban the manufacture, importation, supply, and use of non-woven polypropylene carrier bags, which are synthetic, resin-based, and are suitable alternative to the plastic bags. In the statement, the committee should state the reasons and the circumstances that prompted NEMA to take the action to ban the manufacture, importation, supply, and use of non-woven polypropylene carrier bags. 2, state whether NEMA is offering alternative options to the use of non-woven polypropylene carrier bags, considering that the usage of plastic bags had already been banned. And 3rd, state the reasons why drinks are still being bottled in plastic containers, and yet plastics has been reported to have negative impact on the environment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Very well, Senator Milgo. Finally, Senator Oletina.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you. I rise to seek a statement on protection of consumer data by telecommunication companies. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order 48.1, I rise to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Information and Communication on protection of customer data by telecommunication corporations or companies. In the statement, the committee should, 1, explain the regulatory framework for financial transactions, including loans and promotions transacted through mobile telecommunication companies. 2, explain whether the interest charged on loans and other credit facilities advanced to customers by or through mobile telecommunication companies adhere to the law on interest capping. 3, explain measures put in place to ensure lending services by telecommunication companies don't bring down the economy in case companies collapse or shut down. Number 4, state whether financial services being offered by the telecommunication companies can be delinked from those companies and registered as financial companies. Number 5, explain measures put in place to ensure consumer data obtained by the mobile telecommunication companies and other companies using the mobile platform for financial promotions from falling in the hands of criminals, entities, or being used for identity theft. Number 6, state whether mobile telecommunication companies have a USSD code that customers can use to check for services registered under their mobile phone and national ID numbers. Number 7, state whether mobile telecommunication companies can set up a mechanism to alert mobile phone users when their national ID number are used to register a new phone number. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, state whether mobile telecommunication companies and third parties, such as banks, have a safe data sharing platform between each other for the purpose of protecting the consumer, e.g., reversal of erroneous financial transactions. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Very well. Senator Cherargei? No. Senator, I think, is not in the chamber. Senator Cleophas Malala?
Mr. Speaker, I stand to congratulate my friend Ledama Olekina on the importance of us coming up with a framework to regulate these M-Pesa and mobile banking in our country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have seen situations whereby people are forging identity cards to register in people's names, and I think it is important for this House to be furnished with information as to what regulations are being undertaken to ensure that the customers are well protected, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, second, we need to be asking ourselves pertinent questions as to whether these telecommunication companies are telecommunication companies or are financial institutions, Mr. Speaker. We want to be told whether Safaricom is a telecommunication company or is a bank. We need to separate those two functions, Mr. Speaker, so that when need arises, let Safaricom operate as a telecommunication company and let them register M-Pesa as a bank. Let Airtel operate as a telecommunication company and let Airtel Money be a bank just like Family Bank and Kenya Commercial Bank. Mr. Speaker, I think nowadays these telecommunication companies have ventured into the financial market too much, to an extent that they have now forgotten their core mandate of providing a telecommunication platform to the people of this country, and they are now getting into businesses of lending people loans, Fululiza, Dandika, and so many other promotions, Banjuka, and so many other promotions in the country, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, it is very important for us as legislators to come up with a framework.
Very well.
To
Thank
ensure
you.
that
Thank you, Senator Malala.
we define the role of these telecommunication companies. Thank
Very
you.
well. Thank you, Senator Malala. Very well. We the next order, honorable senators, is a procedural motion. Time is up. The next one is a procedural motion, and we are going to make it as brief as possible. I request that we, because it's a procedural motion, we dispose of it and then move to the committee of the whole. Next order. What is it, Senator Olekina?
Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a very weighty matter, which I requested under 48 standing order. I did not hear you committing it to, or even having the committee.
It's automatically committed by dint of 48(3)(b).
But
for the avoidance of doubt, I commit it to that committee and direct that they liaise with Senator Olekina. Which committee did you? It is your statement directed to two committees. This is a matter whose subject matter belongs to the Committee on ICT. And that committee might want to involve any other senator or any other committee, but that committee takes leadership in that matter. So ordered. What is out of order, Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr.?
Mr. Speaker, we have always relied on you for good guidance, and we have always benefited from your wisdom.
Until now.
until there was a small sleep. Mr. Speaker, this matter, we attempted to tackle this matter in the last Senate through the ICT committee, Mr. Speaker, and we had lots of bottlenecks because this matter concerning Safaricom, which is running a monopoly.
Hold on, Senator Junior. Senator Olekina, approach the chair. Continue, Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr.
Thank you, Speaker. First, I was going to suggest that you put a timeline to it. There's an element which I strongly feel should go to Senator Sakaja's Committee on National Security. The money that Safaricom is holding concerns the security of this nation. It's in billions and billions of shillings. There's also a matter of legal issues concerning the regulations that the regulations concerning where this money is kept have been done so ambiguously and opaquely that I think the committee led by Senator Cherargei should also get involved so that we can help the country, because the monopoly of Safaricom is a danger to our national security. Thank you.
Senator Kabaka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At least you've given me a chance to touch on this statement issued by my brother, Senator for Narok. But I need to write on what Senator for Makuena said. He's forgotten to add that there is a need of involving a committee where he's a member, Committee of Finance. The issue of prudential controls, the issues of, relating to matters of banking, they really fall squarely within the jurisdiction of the domain of the Finance Committee. And if all of us, we are going to, work in coordination, we'll be in a position to come up with a very good, resolute solution to this serious problem. Thank you.
What is it, Senator Sakaja?
Mr. Speaker, I'm very concerned that a number of senators, I think now 2 of them, don't seem to be acquainted with our standing orders, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't know if you saw, even as you summoned Senator Ledama, while Senator Mutula was speaking, he passed right in front of Senator Mutula to the chair. Senator Aaron wants to do the same thing right now. Senator Cherargei has just passed right in front of and between the line of sight of Senator Kabaka and yourself. Let me just acquaint senators who may not be aware. Standing Order 112.2 says, no senator shall pass between the chair and any senator who is speaking, or between the chair and the table, except insofar as it is necessary for the purpose of administration of oath or affirmation of office. Please keep reminding the honorable members.
Honorable senators, be acquainted accordingly. Because I'm not aware that there was any administration of oaths taking place. Because that's the exception. Order. Order. Let's observe our standing orders. Senator Maura.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to make my remarks with regard to that particular statement about Safaricom and other institutions that are as well offering financial services, financial and other services in a very oligopolistic manner. And of course, when I hear Senator Malala talking about Fululiza, I think there is no such a, it's Fuliza actually, it's not Fululiza. Because Fululiza means you follow quickly, but it's Fuliza, which people also are, comparing it to some form of Shylock business. But Mr. Speaker, I think we need to also agree that financial institutions and the way in which we transact business has really changed because of the nature of interconnectedness. And so maybe as the ICT committee superintends over this issue, and it actually falls squarely over this because there was a dalliance with the thinking that it is a finance and budget committee issue, is that they may want to look at our regulatory framework with regards to the new ways of doing and transacting business, rather than just looking at it from a mere traditional way of saying this is a bank and this is a mobile phone company. Why am I saying so? Because M-Pesa really is an innovation that is originated from our country, and so therefore we may also want to show other jurisdictions how such entities would function in a modern economy.
Other senators? We'll leave this matter at that point. It's an important matter. I therefore reiterate the directive I gave that the ICT committee takes leadership, but I further direct that the committee on ICT is at liberty to apply Standing Order 216 and sit jointly with the Committee on Finance and Budget. So ordered. Next order.
Order number 8, motion.
Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to move this procedural motion that reads, pursuant to Standing Order 159, the amendments of the National Assembly to the County Government Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 11 of 2017, be now considered. Mr. Speaker, I would request...
What are the amendments about?
I don't know.
Majority Leader.
Let me consult, Mr. Speaker. I haven't looked at the amendment because it is going to come up.
Proceed, Senator Dulo.
Mr. National Assembly
Have they committee?
To be seconded by... I thank you.
Senator.
Mr. Speaker, since it's a procedure amendments.
That is seconding that which, and also
delegation. Seconder doesn't need to give reasons for seconding. The second can indicate secondment by bowing, and that will be adequate. So, for that reason, it means the merits of secondment do not lie in the reasons advanced. It's in the affirmation of the motion. And therefore, I find Senator Barara completely in order. Very well. Is there a debate? I don't see any requests. I propose the question that pursuant to Standing Order 159, the amendments of the National Assembly to the County Government Bill, Senate Bill number 11 of 2017, be now considered. Senator Kabaka is not in the chamber. Senator Samson Cheragai, not in the chamber. Senator Mtula Kilonzo Jr.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, number one, I think that Senator Dulo would have helped us in this debate because there are certain very critical amendments that have been passed by the National Assembly. So it would have been important to inform the senators whether these amendments are agreeable. The first amendment, Clause 8, has deleted the word County Gazette. I'm aware that the senators have proposed a law that would put a county gazette in place, including a county printer. This name, County Gazette, appears, Mr. Speaker, in the County Governments Act, and Mr. Speaker, in our review of Article 191, the publication of bills, the word County Gazette appears to have been sanctioned, even if it's not directly. Mr. Speaker, the second one is Clause 11. In Clause 11, a judge sitting in the High Court, I think it's Bungoma, ruled that a governor cannot dismiss an executive. And governors have been, is in Nakuru, yes, Mabea, Justice Mabea, now I remember, that a county executive cannot be dismissed. The county, many counties, including the county of Machakos, don't have the 10 CECs. The county of Nyeri, when Gachagua was alive, had 3 acting CECs. An amendment has been made, a very serious amendment, and that is the reason why this should have been spoken to in Clause 11, that a governor may dismiss a county executive member if the governor considers appropriate and shall give reasons for that dismissal. This is something, Mr. Speaker, that is bound to be very controversial and is helpful for those who are seated here and who want to join the Council of Governors as governors in the next term. The other one is the county secretary. Similarly, Mr. Speaker, there's been a concern, I know a concern raised by Senator Cheruiyot on the qualifications of a county secretary, dismissal of county secretaries, and the position of a county secretary in the county executive committee. The amendment here in 2E, Clause 15, Mr. Speaker, speaks to the fact that the county secretary shall be an ex-officio member of the county executive committee with no voting rights. These are serious issues that must be considered. This has become the county executive number 11 without voting rights. What is the legal implication of having the county secretary who is in charge of public service also sitting in an equal capacity as another county executive? It's a serious issue, and we must consider it as to whether this amendment, in fact, is not promoting the county secretary to a super county secretary, because he holds another portfolio not held by any other person. Other than managing the county executive minutes, he becomes the head of public service and sits in equal rank. This person is actually more senior than a deputy governor. It's a fact, because the governor has no role. This person has been assigned a very huge role. Are you going to accept that? Is that acceptable? Those are some of the issues that I thought may be debated. But more importantly, you cannot remove this person as the governor. The grounds for removing this person have become like grounds of impeaching a governor, including violation of the Constitution. How do you want to elevate the county executive member who is an ex-officio, a county secretary, can be removed for these reasons in the same manner as the removal of a governor under Article 181? But that is why I'm saying, in moving this, Senator Dulo should have, just for purposes of debate, even if we leave to the committee, it becomes an important issue because concerns secretaries in our counties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well, Senator Maura.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's quite interesting to have the leader of majority, the distinguished lawyer and friend, Fatuma Dule, Senator for Isiolo, giving us a motion or without elucidating the contents of the amendments. And that the fact that this has occasioned our concern is really, really important. If I could only rely on what Senator Mutula has just told us, then it matters that are weighty, and that the committee so charged with this mandate would be of very good use to inform us on the merits and demerits of the various clauses. But I think there is a preoccupation with the idea that we can replicate all the instruments of governance of the national administration to the county administration. And I think I beg to differ, because if you look at the scope and size, devolution does not necessarily mean decentralization. And I think we need also not just to copy-paste the institutions of the national government because of the size, sheer mandate, and even the running costs that are attendant to this, to all the 47 county governments, because this is a unitary system, it's not a federal system. Mr. Speaker, in the same vein, I think also there seems to be a serious breach of procedure and laws and provisions of various statutory instruments with regards to how counties are superintending their affairs. And of concern, Mr. Speaker, is where you find members of county assembly, and I've received several complaints, are de-whipped from committees when they do not agree with the governors. Where
Stick to the amendment.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
The report of the National Assembly.
I'm coming to that, Mr. Speaker.
You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Thank you for your guidance, Mr. Speaker. With regards to how, for example, even county executive members are removed from and a lot of underhand tactics are used in terms of intimidation, use of violence and foul language. This may not be officially documented because of the nature in which we find ourselves. But I hear a genuine concern and cry from people who would genuinely want to be providing oversight of county governments, feeling that they're actually not properly protected because, following the rule of law in county governments is almost becoming an anathema. And this is not just a sweeping statement. There are very clear examples of this. And so, Mr. Speaker, I think it is incumbent upon this House to look at these issues. We need, of course, to ensure that we strengthen the roles of the deputy governors so that they are not just flower boys and flower girls in various county governments, but also to ensure that then our imagination is not to the extent that then we are only replicating what we think that is supposed to be in the national government, the county government, because also there are nuances that, of course, led to the very establishment of such institutions. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this is a good discussion that we must have and deliberation, and I would want to imagine that this should go to the mediation, if at all, because you see our colleagues in the National Assembly very much preoccupied with that entitlement, sometimes also that national government can only do so much and county governments are kind of inferior. So I think these are some of the things that will be conversed in the committee and on the plenary.
Other senators? I see no further requests. I would now want to propose the question, but please note that we are not, I would be moving to propose the question, but please note we are not voting on the amendments. We are voting that the committee or the report from the National Assembly be considered. Therefore, those amendments will go to the committee and they will be in the normal way processed and brought back for voting, which voting now will determine whether or not we accept the amendments. So the issue, the motion reads that the report of the National Assembly be now considered, and that is not a matter concerning counties. I therefore put the question that pursuant to Standing Order 159, the amendments on the National Assembly to the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 11 of 2017, be now considered. As many of that opinion say aye. Many of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Order, Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr., you cannot be on a point of order when the Speaker is on his feet.
No, it was simultaneous, as you said.
Order. Order. Are you on a point of order? Yes. What is it?
My concern is, one, what is it that doesn't your motion or the content? I'm not challenging
It is
your
the
ruling.
procedural motion,
It's
whether or
procedural.
not to consider.
Yes.
A bill.
Yeah.
Therefore, bills. As, they are the concerning counties.
To be very
Still very well. you know, I know when lawyers want to insult a judge, they start by saying, with great follows. Order, Senator.
Order number 9, Committee of the Whole, the County Early Senate Bills number 26 of 2018.
Proceeding to Childhood Educational Bill, Senate Bills number 26 of 2018.
And 5.
I propose the question that clauses part of the bill. Division. I propose 6 to be part of the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Of the bill be amended in paragraph. The word and that promotes after the words curriculum program. Therefore, the word culture. The term secular is not a this clause, and hence they use it with a more appropriate term.
I put to be amended as
10 to 18.
That clauses 7 to 8. I put the 18 bill division at the end.
Clause.
I propose the question that clause 19 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendment. Chairperson.
Clause 9 by the and substituting therefore for the following the compound in which an education shall not be less than 1 acre in measurement. The leading sub
I propose the question that amended as proposed. I put the question that closed as proposed. The division
29.
Propose the question 29 be part. The question that closes be part of the bill. Division at the end. Propose the question part of the bill. Mover to move amendment. Chairperson Standing Committee on Education, Senator Langat.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I beg that clause 30 of the bill be amended. A, in subclause 1, by inserting the word living with disability immediately after the words one person appearing in paragraph E. B, in subclause 3, by deleting the words and shall report to the County Education Board in the performance of his or her functions under this Act, appearing immediately after the words Board of Management, and C, by inserting the following new subclauses immediately after subclause 3. 3A, the Board of Management shall report to the County Education Board on performance of its function under this Act. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I propose the question that clause 30 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 30 be amended as proposed, be division at the end.
Clauses 31 to 37.
I propose the question that clauses 31 to 37 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 31 to 37 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 38.
I propose the question that clause 38 be part of the bill. Mover to amendment. Chairperson Standing Committee on Education, Dr. Langat.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I beg that clause 38 of the bill be amended in subclause 1 by deleting the word training appearing immediately after the words recruitment, and in paragraph A, and substituting therefore the words professional development.
I propose the question that clause 38 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 38 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clauses 39 to 40.
I propose the question that clauses 39 to 40 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 39 to 40 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 41.
I propose the question that clause 41 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendment. Chairperson Standing Committee on Education, Dr. Langat.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I beg that clause 41 be amended in subclause 1 by deleting the word free appearing immediately after the words the age of, and substituting therefore the word for. Thank you.
I propose the question that clause 41 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 41 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clauses 42 to 48.
I propose the question that clauses 42 to 48 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 42 to 48 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 49.
I propose the question that clause 49 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendment. Chairperson Standing Committee on Education, Dr. Langat.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I beg that clause 49 be amended by inserting the word and the county education boards at the end of the clause. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I propose the question that clause 49 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 49 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clauses 50 to 62.
I propose the question that clauses 50 to 62 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 50 to 62 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 63.
I propose the question that clause 63 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendment. Chairperson Standing Committee on Education, Dr. Langat.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I beg that clause 63 be amended in subclause 1 by Roman 1, inserting the words of either gender immediately after the words two persons in paragraph A. Roman 2, deleting paragraph B and substituting therefore the following new paragraph. B, the county executive education member responsible for education or his representative of nominated by the County Executive Committee be member in writing. Roman 3, by inserting the following new paragraph immediately after paragraph B. One public officer in the department responsible for health, nominated by the respective County Executive Committee member responsible for matters relating to health. Thank you.
I propose the question that clause 63 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 63 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clauses 64 to 66.
I propose the question that clauses 64 to 66 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 64 to 66 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 67.
I propose the question that clause 67 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendment, Dr. Zani Agnes.
Thank you, your chairperson. I beg that clause 67 of the bill be amended by inserting the following new clause immediately after subclause 1. 1A, the Cabinet Secretary shall, in consultation with the Teacher Service Commission and the Council of County Governors, prescribe minimum standards relating to schemes of service for early childhood teachers within 1 year of the enactment of this act.
I propose the question that clause 67 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 67 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clauses 68 and 69.
I propose the question that clauses 68 and 69 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 68 and 69 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
New clause 66A.
Mover to move that new clause 66A be now read a second time. Chairperson, Standing Committee on Education, Dr. Langat. I beg to move.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I beg to move that the following new clause be inserted immediately after 66. Qualified person 66A, a person employed as an early childhood teacher at the commencement of this act.
Sorry, yes. Dr. Langat, Senator. You need to move for the second reading. Okay. I beg to move.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Chair, I beg to move for the second time that the following new clause be inserted immediately after clause 66.
Senator, that is not correct.
Mm-hmm.
Just approach the chair.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. I beg to move that the new clause 66A be now read a second time. A person employed as an early childhood teacher at the commencement of this act and does not possess the minimum requirement as stated under section 36(1) shall continue to qualify for employment as an early childhood teacher if that person obtains the necessary qualification within 4 years of the commencement of this act. Thank you.
I propose the question that clause 66A be now read a second time. I put the question that clause 66A be now read a second time. Division at the end.
The first and second schedules, the title and clause 2.
I propose the question that the first and second schedules, the title and clause 2 be part of the bill. I put the question that the first and second schedules, the title and clause 2 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Chairperson, to move amendment. Mover to move amendment. Chairperson, Standing Committee on Education, Dr. Langat.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I beg to move that Clause 1 of the bill be amended by deleting the word county appearing immediately after the words cited as the. Thank you.
I propose the question that clause 1 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 1 be amended as proposed. Division at the end. Honorable Senators, we are moving to so I call them mover.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I beg to move that the Committee of the Whole report progress on its consideration of the County Early Childhood Education Bill, Senate Bill number 26 of 2018, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow. Thank you.
I will put the question, which is that the Committee of the Whole do report progress on its consideration of the County Early Childhood Education Bill, Senate Bills number 26 of 2018, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow. We can put the question? Will as many as are of the opinion say aye? Aye. And those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report progress that the Committee of the Whole has considered the County Early Childhood Education Bill, Senate Bills number 26 of 2018, and seeks leave to sit again tomorrow.
Mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee on the said report. Thank you.
Seconder.
Thank you. I request Senator Olekina from Narok to second.
Madam Speaker, I second.
I will propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order. Next order.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole, the Public Participation Bill, Senate Bills number 4 of 2018.
Honorable Senators, we are proceeding on the Committee of the Whole on the Public Participation Bill, Senate Bills number 4 of 2018.
Clause 3.
I propose the question that Clause B be part of the bill. Mover to move amendments, Chairperson, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights.
That Clause 3 of the bill be amended, A, in the introductory clause by inserting the words "and developmental programs" immediately after the words "in governance process." B, by inserting the following new paragraph immediately after paragraph F. G, promote participation by non-state actors in decision-making processes.
I propose the question that Clause B be amended as proposed. I put the question that Clause 3 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 4.
I propose the question that Clause 4 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendments, Chairperson, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights.
That Clause 4 of the bill be amended by deleting paragraph A and substituting there following new paragraph A. That the public, communities, and organizations to be affected by a decision shall have a right to be notified, heard, and involved in the decision-making process.
I propose the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed. Further amendment proposed. I propose the question that clause 4 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendments, Senator Petronila Were Locorio. Senator Mutula.
Thank you, Chair. I propose that clause 4 of the bill be amended as proposed in the order paper. Thank you.
I propose the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 5.
I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendment, Chairperson Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, Senator Cherargei.
That clause 5 of the bill be amended in subclause 2 by deleting paragraph C and substituting therefore the following new paragraph. C, independent commissions or offices, boards and authorities or any other public body, the respective chief executive officer or secretary to the public body. B, in paragraph F, by deleting the words county secretaries appearing immediately after the words county executive and substituting therefore the words respective county executive member.
I propose the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed. Further amendments proposed. Mover to move amendment, Dr. Zani. Yes. Senator, just move the dispatch. The amendment. Clause 5, clause 5.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I propose that, I beg to move that clause 5 of the bill be amended by inserting the following new subclause immediately after subclause 2. 2A, the responsible authority shall, in developing the guidelines specified under subsection 1, consult with the department in the respective entity.
I propose the question that clause 5 be further amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 5 be further amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 6.
I propose the question that clause 6 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendments, Chairperson Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, Senator Cherargei.
That clause 6 of the bill be amended in subclause 2 by deleting the word specific appearing immediately after the word include in paragraph A and substituting therefore the words any further.
I propose the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed. Division at the end. Further amendment proposed. Mover to move amendment, Senator Petronila Were. Senator Mutula. A further amendment on clause 6.
Chair, your direction on this matter is critical because I thought that the amendments that I was reading on behalf of Were are the ones in the order paper, and the further amendments would be read by the Chair of Legal Affairs. But on clause 6, the Chair has read the amendment in the order paper. Similarly, he read the amendment in the order paper in clause 5. Yet, you have also given him the opportunity to read the further amendments. And therefore, if I'm not needed, I can be excused.
No, they are different. We just moved this.
There are two different amendments to the same clause.
No. In the clause 6 that are in the order paper has been read word for word by Senator Cherargei, the chair. So therefore, I would say I have no amendment because the amendment has already been read. That's okay. That's my concern. And similarly, that is happened in clause 5.
In clause 5 also.
Because if you had a further amendment, it would not be the amendment in the order paper because these are the amendments of Petronila Were. These are the committee amendments. That portion is confusing. Yeah, but
Senator, all the amendments are on the order paper and each person should just take care of their bit.
Yeah, but when you called Senator Cherargei on 6, he read 6. You have called me on 6 again. That's the problem.
But there are two amendments to clause 5.
There was only one.
There is one from the committee and then one from Senator Petronila.
Yeah, but the chair has read 5 of Were. Exactly, that's the committee amendment. That is the problem I have. In clause 6, if that is a committee amendment, the Petronila Were has the same amendment. That's the problem.
So it's one each and there are no two.
Yeah, so it's not synchronized. That's the problem. We are just industrious in our committee, but it doesn't mean we repeat ourselves. But then he just reads. Then it can't be further amended.
Honorable Senator, we may need to approach the chair so that we show you where the difference is. Senator, you can now move that amendment on behalf, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I move that clause 6 of the bill be amended in subclause 2 by deleting the word specific appearing immediately after the word include in paragraph A and substituting therefore the words any further. Thank you.
I propose the question that clause 6 be further amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 6 be further amended as proposed, be division at the end. The same one as Zani. Yeah, there's a further amendment again to clause 16, clause 6. Further amendment proposed. Mover to move amendment, Senator Dr. Zani.
Thank you, Chair. I beg that clause 6 of the bill be amended in subclause 1 by inserting the words, in accordance with this act, immediately after the words, shall develop guidelines. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 6 be further amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 6 be further amended as proposed, division at the end.
Clause 7.
I propose the question that clause 7 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendments, Chairperson, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights. Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Chair. Clause 7 of the bill be amended by inserting the words publicize and immediately after the words authority shall.
I propose the question that clause 7 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 7 be amended as proposed, division at the end.
Clause 8.
I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendment, Chairperson, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights. Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Chair. That clause 8 of the bill be amended in subclause 4 by inserting the words include information on the purpose, dates, and participants immediately after the words of public participation in paragraph A.
I propose the question that clause A be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed, division at the end.
That's a further amendment.
Further amendments proposed. Mover to move amendment, Senator Petronila Were, which is being moved by Senator Mutula. Kilonzo Jr. Clause 8.
Clause 8.
Chair, the same problem has arisen. It is same. Senator Cherargei has read the amendments of Petronila Were.
So where is it now?
So you must agree.
Are in blue. By Locorio.
He read the order paper.
Are in red.
Maybe he's reading the wrong. He read the order paper the same way it is here.
Approach the chair again.
Yeah. If you ask him to read it again, Madam Chair, you will see what I'm talking about. If you ask him to read the amendment to clause 8, word for word, as
Just
the
approach
amendments
the
of
chair again. I
word.
think there is just a confusion. There's a point of order. Can you give her the mic? You see now, this and that.
You see, Senator, in
Then give him the mic. Senator Mutula, please go ahead and make move the amendment by Senator Were.
No, Madam Chair, may I proceed? Thank you. I propose that Clause 8 be further amended in subclause 5 by deleting the words "in such other manner" appearing immediately after the words "and publicized" and substituting therefore the words "through such other appropriate platform." Thank you.
I propose the question that Clause 8 be amended as proposed. I put the question that Clause 8 be amended as proposed. Further amendment to the same clause. Mover to move amendments, Dr. Zani.
Microphone, please. Thank you, Madam Chair. I propose further that Clause 8 of the bill be amended in subclause 4 by inserting the following new paragraph immediately after paragraph B. BA, particulars of persons or organizations that have taken part in any public participation exercise conducted by the relevant county. I beg to propose a new clause that the bill be amended by inserting the following new clause immediately after Clause 8. General penalty 8A. A person contravenes a provision of this act, commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 100,000 shillings. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that Clause 8 be further amended as proposed. I put the question that Clause 8 division at the end. Clause 9. I propose the question that Clause 9 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendment, Chairperson, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights. Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Chair. That Clause 9 of the bill be amended by inserting the words within 6 months of the coming into operation of this act, immediately after the words "the Cabinet Secretary may."
I propose the question that new Clause 7A be read a second time. I put the question that the new Clause 7A. I propose the question that Clause 9 be amended as proposed. I put the question that Clause 9 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
New Clause 7A.
Mover to move that new Clause 7A be now read a second time. Senator Petronila will, Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. Yes.
I propose a new clause that the bill be amended by inserting the following new clause immediately after Clause 7. 7A, the responsible authority shall provide the necessary resources for the conduct of public participation under this act. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that new Clause 7A be read a second time. I put the question that new Clause 7A be read a second time. Division at the end.
New Clause 8A.
Mover to move that new Clause 8A be now read a second time. Senator Dr. Zani.
Thank you, Chair. I beg to move that the new clause 8A be read a second time. 8A, a person contravenes a provision of this act, commits an offence, and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 100,000 shillings. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I propose the question that new clause 8A be read a second time. I put the question that new clause 8A be read a second time, division at the end.
The schedule.
Further amendment proposed. I propose the question that the schedule be part of the bill. Mover to move amendment. Senator Petronila, Senator Mutula Jr. I propose the question that the schedule be part of the bill. Mover to move amendment. Chairperson, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights. Senator Sherarge.
The chair always goes first. Thank you. Chair, that the schedule to the bill be amended in paragraph 2 by deleting the word continue, appearing immediately after the word shall facilitate, and substitute therefore the word continuous. B, in paragraph 5 by inserting the words youth, minorities and marginalized communities immediately after the words persons with disabilities. In subparagraph 2, C, by deleting paragraph 8 and substituting therefore the following new paragraph 8, every public participation forum shall be undertaken within a reasonable time frame from the earliest possible time for consultation, allowing a reasonable period for each stage of the process. D, in paragraph 11, by deleting subparagraph B and substituting therefore the following new subparagraphs B. The final decision, including the reasons for the decision, is made widely available in a timely manner to the public. B.A. The final decision is publicized in the same manner required for in giving notice for public participation under these guidelines. And E, in paragraph 13, by inserting the words and may be subjected to penal consequences under any relevant law immediately after the words from a meeting in subparagraph 2.
I propose the question that the schedule be amended as proposed. I put the question that the schedule be amended as proposed. Further amendment to the further amendment proposed. I propose the question that the schedule be part of the bill. Mover to move the amendment. Senator Mutula Jr.
Thank you. And the schedule that I propose an amendment to the schedule as follows: that paragraph 10 of the schedule be amended by inserting the following new subparagraph immediately after subparagraph 4 to read as follows. 4A, the confidentiality requirement imposed by the responsible authority shall be reasonable and not unduly fetter the rights of the applicant. Thank you.
I propose the question that the schedule be amended as proposed. I put the question that the schedule be amended as proposed. Division at the end. Further amendment, I propose the schedule that the question that the schedule be part of the bill. Mover to move amendment, Dr. Zani.
I propose that the schedule be amended A in paragraph 4.2 by deleting subparagraph F and substituting therefore the following new paragraph. F, radio stations and print media. B, in paragraph 5 by inserting the words including ensuring non-discrimination and reasonable access to information by such persons, immediately after the words public participation processes appearing in subparagraph 2. C, in paragraph 10.3 by deleting subparagraph C and substituting therefore the following new subparagraph. C, shall be subject to the limitations on the right to access to information as set out in Section 6 of the Access to Information Act.
I propose the question that the schedule be amended as proposed. I put the question that the schedule be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendments. Chairperson, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights. Senator Shererge.
Clause 2, that clause 2 will be amended by inserting the following new definition immediately after the definition of the word general guidelines. Public participation means the process through which the public are broadly engaged in understanding and contributing to decision-making processes of the policy-making, law-making, and implementation level. That's the bill.
Senator, just 1 minute. You know, there are two amendments on the same. So on the definition of public participation, and the same one is being moved by Senator Mutula. So you need to agree which one, because it's the same. It's the same amendment. So you need to agree and which one we adopt. There are different. I mean, two different amendments to one.
I think
definition.
We agree with, in principle, with Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. that the committee's amendments takes precedent. Yeah.
So if it is okay, we stand
okay.
down the one for Senator Mutula. Okay.
Yeah, I think in principle with Senator Mutula. Okay.
That's fine. Okay. Senator, now we go ahead and move it. Just move it.
Back to clause 2. Okay. That clause 2 of the bill be amended by inserting the following new definition. Immediately after definition of the word general guidance, public participation means the process through which the public are broadly engaged in understanding and contributing to decision-making processes of the policy-making, law-making, and implementation level.
I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed. And second amendment is stood down. I propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. Mover to move an amendment. Chairperson, Standing Committee, Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights, Senator Cherargei.
That the bill be amended in the long title by inserting the words at the national and county level of government immediately after the words effective public participation. 2, notice is, sorry, I think that is the end of it. My apologies. Okay.
I propose the question that the title be amended as proposed. I put the question that the title be amended as proposed, division at the end.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill, division at the end. A mover to move.
Yes. Thank you, Chairperson. Pursuant to Standing Order 139, I beg to move that the committee do report progress on consideration of the Public Participation Bill, Senate Bill number 4 of 2018, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow.
I will. It's more convenient. Okay. I will put the question, which is that the committee do report progress on its consideration of the Public Participation Bill, Senate Bills number 4 of 2018, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow. May as many as are of the opinion say aye, aye. And those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Madam Speaker.
Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report progress that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Public Participation Bill, Senate Bills number 4 of 2018, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House doth agree with the Speaker on the said report and seek to ask Senator Samson Cherage to second the motion.
I second.
Honorable Senators, I will propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I will put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many as of that opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
But mover should seek for vote. Somebody should seek for deferment.
No, we've reported for.
No. No, for this one. Which one? We defer the question. Oh, that one. Oh, yeah. That is the one I was asking.
Order, Senators. I am duly informed that the movers of the amendments in orders 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 are not in the House, which is a bit interesting because this is really a good order paper for today. But the movers are not there to make this, to move these amendments. I therefore order that orders 11 to 15 be deferred, but of course with the rider that having made a ruling on this on a previous date, that if you are not there as movers to move your business, then next time we shall simply move without those people that are supposed to make those amendments or to move. So those ones stand deferred, and I therefore, we therefore move to the next order. And order, for the convenience of the House, we now move to order 16 and 17 at the same time so that we are able to conclude. Next order.
Order number 16, Committee of the Whole, the petition to County Assembly's Procedure Bill, Senate Bills number 22 of 2018. Order number 17, Committee of the Whole, the Treaty Making and Ratification Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 23 of 2018.
Honorable Senators, we are moving. Honorable Senators, we are moving to the Committee of the Whole in consideration of the petition to County Assembly Bills, Procedure Bill, Senate Bill number 22 of 2018.
Clauses 3 and 4.
I propose the question that clauses 3 and 4 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 3 and 4 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 5.
I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendments, Chairperson, Legal, Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights. Senator Sherergei.
That clause 5 of the bill be amended by A, by deleting subclause 1, B, by deleting the introductory phrase to paragraph 4 and substituting therefore the following new introductory phrase: for the relevant county assembly committee shall, in considering the petition.
I propose the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed and that it be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed and that it be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clauses 6 and 7.
I propose the question that clauses 6 and 7 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 6 and 7 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
The schedule.
I propose the question that the schedule be part of the bill. I put the question that the schedule be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
The title.
I propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. I put the question that the title be the title of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Division at the end. The mover.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that Honorable Chairperson, pursuant to Standing Order number 148, I beg to move that the committee do report progress on its consideration of the petition to County Assembly's Procedure Bill, Senate Bill number 22 of 2018, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow.
I will put the question, which is that the committee do report progress on its consideration of the petition to County Assembly's Procedure Bill, Senate Bills number 22 of 2018, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow. May as many as are of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Senators, we are moving to the next bill, which is to the Committee of the Whole, the Treaty Making and Ratification Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 23 of 2018.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendments, Chairperson, Legal, Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights. Senator Sherergay.
Clause 2, that clause 2 of the bill be amended in the proposed new section 8 by inserting the following new subsection immediately after subsection 1. 1A, the memorandum submitted under subsection 1 shall include the same information specified under section 7.
I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clauses 3, 4, and 5.
I propose the question that clauses 3, 4, and 5 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 3, 4, and 5 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
New clause 1A.
Mover to move second reading to new clause. Chairperson, Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights. Senator Sherergay.
New clause 1A, that the bill be amended by inserting the following new clause immediately after clause 1. 1A, section 3 of
Honorable
the...
Senator, it is second reading.
Oh, sorry.
Just check it again. Yeah.
That is?
Just approach the chair.
Oh. Madam Chair, I beg to move that new clause 1A and 4A be read a second time. Okay, sorry, 1A.
I propose the question that new clause 1A be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 1A be now read a second time. Division at the end.
New clause 4A.
Mover to move a second reading on new clause. Chairperson, Legal, Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights. Senator Sherergay.
Chair, I beg to move that new clause 4A be read a second time.
I propose the question that new clause 4A be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 4A be now read a second time. Division at the end.
The title and clause 1.
I propose the question that the title and clause 1 be part of the bill. I put the question that the title and clause 1 be part of the bill. Division at the end. Mover.
Madam Chair, pass understanding order number 148, I beg to move that the committee do report progress on its consideration of the treaty making and ratification amendment bill. Bills number 23 of 2018 and seek leave to sit again tomorrow.
I will put the question, which is that the committee do report progress on its treaty making and ratification amendment bill, Senate bills number 23, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow. May as many as are of the opinion say aye, aye. And those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
We are starting with a petition to the County Assembly's Procedure Bill, Senate Bill number 22 of 2018. And I call upon the chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report progress that the Committee of the Whole has considered the petition to County Assembly's Procedures Bill, Senate Bills number 22 of 2018, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee of the said report, and I request Senator Malala to second.
Senator Malala.
I second.
Honorable Senators, I will propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I will put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many as of that opinion say aye, as many as of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. Next, we will move to the progress report on the Treaty Making and Ratification Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 23 of 2018. Mover. Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report progress that the Committee of the Whole has considered the Treaty Making and Ratification Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 23 of 2018, and seeks leave to sit again tomorrow.
Mover. Senator Milgo.
Honorable Chairperson, Person understanding order number 148, I beg to move that the committee to report progress on its consideration of the treaty, making a ratification amendment bill, Senate Bills number 23 of 2018, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow.
Sorry, you have not been able to move appropriately. Kindly approach the table.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish to move, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report.
Seconder? Senator Milgo, who is your seconder? You are not on record.
Can Senator Wako second, please?
Senator Naomi Wako.
Wako with a Q. I second.
I will propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I will put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many as of that opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 18, the Natural Resources Benefit Sharing Bill, Senate Bills number 31 of 2018, second reading.
Honorable Senators, Senator Milgo was last submitting on this one. Senator Milgo, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish to proceed with this bill and continue to thank Senator Dr. Sani for bringing this bill. Madam Speaker, I've spoken to a number of issues, but I wish to say that under Article 13, clause number 2, I agree with the issue of electing 5 people to oversee the issue of benefit sharing. However, I would have wished that these people, I see under 3, that the members of the local community benefit sharing forum are supposed to serve only for 5 years. However, in cases where the same committee has done a good job, they can be given a second chance, Madam Speaker, so that they may continue serving the community. Madam Speaker, under clause 6, the members of the local community, in this case, would benefit from allowances that are going to be discussed determined by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, and I did realize that this was a good idea because of the fact that in the past we have had various committees deciding on their own allowances, and in most cases, as in this case, led to corruption. Otherwise, I want to say that this is a very good bill. We have had many people suffering. Like I said, in my county, Bomet County, the Chinese companies that are very full in that county are really extracting natural resources in terms of maram. And Madam Speaker, the concerned people are underpaid. And right now, even their farms cannot be put into use again. And they are clearing shallow, big, deep pits that in this case is going to cause havoc, particularly in terms of bringing injuries, yet the same people have not been compensated equally. Otherwise, I wish to say I support this bill with the amendments. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Having no further request on this one, I now call upon the mover to reply. Senator Zani.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to reply by starting to thank all the senators who contributed to this bill. I think from the contributions that they made, they came up with very many insights, very many new ideas that continue to enrich the bill, touching right from CRA and how we should actually contextualize their involvement, going to the formula for sharing and what changes we should make, going to the sovereign wealth fund and what issues we should address, going to the CS and ensuring that a time frame is put in place for the regulations and many other important issues, Madam Speaker. I just urge that as we continue to debate this bill, we remember the communities out there who don't have a proper structure for enactment. The mining bill put provisions for money to go back, proportions of sharing to go back to the counties, but no specific structure has been put in place to ensure that at the bottom and within the communities, they're able to have a say. And a lot of money might be collected, but it might not go back. Others also spoke about the role of KRA and how that role can be enhanced in terms of auditing. So I think with all this, we'll be able to put everything together. I'd like, as I finish, to thank Senator Githiomi, who is in this House, whose bill, in whose committee this bill rested. They've done a lot of work in that committee improving this bill. I think together as the Senate, we'll see this bill one day become an act. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, this being a matter that affects counties, it cannot therefore proceed for a vote or putting the question, and I therefore defer this matter to another date for purposes of division and voting. Next order.
Order number 19, the County Oversight and Accountability Bill, Senate Bills number 28 of 2018, second reading.
Senator Ledama Olekina.
Madam Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. The purpose of this bill is to give effect to the oversight role of the senator as enumerated by Article 96(1)(3) of the Constitution through enhancing public participation.
Order, Senator. What point of order, Senator Zani?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The bill has to be moved, so it has to be moved appropriately so that at the beginning it is, so that it's contextualized properly in the House.
Kindly do the necessary, Senator Oledama Elekena.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill, the County Oversight and Accountability Bill 2018, be read a second time. Madam Speaker, this bill is divided into 4 parts. Part 1 of the bill set out the preliminary issues, including definition of various terms used, and most importantly, the object and purpose of the bill. Part 2 of the bill set out the criteria for public participation facilities. Under this part are matters touching on planning, implementation, funding, and creating these facilities. Part 3 of the bill deals with the oversight and public participation provision of the bill. Under this part are the oversight of county revenue allocated by the national government, the oversight and public participation program to be carried out by the senator of each 47 county, the oversight office, and the role of the county assembly in the context of this part. Part 5 of this bill contains the miscellaneous provision of the bill. This provision grants the CEC of the respective county powers to make regulations and better implementation of the bill. Madam Speaker, when you look at the current budget-making process in the county governments, mostly the citizens are not involved. And this bill seeks to involve citizens from the onset of making the county budgets. Recently, we were looking at the overall budget policy statement. And when this budget policy statement is now taken to the county governments to be able to interpret it, they come up with various ways of how they can be able to develop their counties. When I sat down and thought about my county of Narok, for instance, we have 6 constituencies. And in those 6 constituencies, sometimes it is not all constituencies benefit. So what this bill set out to do is to ensure that every person in Kenya, regardless of which constituency you come from, the money which is devolved touches your life. The main purpose of this Senate, as enshrined in the Constitution, Article 96, is to protect the interest of county government and their people. If a governor sits in the county headquarters, comes up with a budget, and decide at his or her own wish that I'm going to develop this part of the county, and I will not develop this part of the county. This bill, once it becomes law, it ensures that in each and every ward, a public participation hall is developed. Once this public participation hall is developed, the citizens of that ward would be involved during the budget-making process, such that if in that ward, for instance, they have a problem of a health center, there's no reason or justification as to why a governor would prioritize the construction of a road. Number 2, Madam Speaker, as a senator, you can also be able to use this facility to be able to engage the people on the ground on matters development. We have had a big debate on what the MCAs really wanted. They wanted to be able to have a ward development fund. The reason being, some of them were feeling that the governors are not getting services to their people. So when this bill becomes law, the Auditor General will get an opportunity to be able to go in and meet with the citizens of each and every ward, The control of budget will also get an opportunity to be able to go and meet with the citizens of each and every ward and say, in this county, we have been able to disperse X amount of money, and based on the budget that was developed by your county, we see that Ward A was supposed to get a hospital. If that hospital was not built there, it will be easy to call the governor to account. Currently, as we speak, there is no mechanism. I dare say that this bill is one that really defines the role of this House. Because when you look at Part 2 of the bill, these public participation halls, which are developed, would be public assets. I know in other jurisdictions, Madam Speaker, you will find that governments will go and speak to the people in town halls. They will discuss about their issues. In our current government, or rather county governments, when we politicians go and meet people, we do not have a defined place for public participation. We go under a tree, we talk to them in churches, we talk to them in funerals. MCAs, when they are sitting down in the assemblies, sometimes they don't know what is the overall goal of the governor. So, Madam Speaker, because of time, I will get more time to respond. Once this bill is contributed, I wanted to request that Senator Malala comes in and second it. But before that, Madam Speaker, with looking at the way funds are devolved into counties, right now, we're having serious problems. We are looking at 47 audit reports in the Public Accounts and Investment Committee. We are looking at 47 reports for the Assembly and the Executive. Those reports which we are looking at do not have any inputs of the citizens. Once we make this law, it will then be possible to be able to cross-reference and say what the Auditor General is saying here. Even the citizens themselves can be able to confirm that indeed a hospital was not built here, yet in the budget of the government, it said that there will be a hospital which will be able to be built here. The other thing also which will help in this bill, once this bill becomes law, it will be able to define clearly how on-source revenue is accounted for. Right now, it's very difficult to tell which counties. Today, I was very happy to read that Nairobi City County is leading in collection of on-source revenue. Collecting 10 billion shillings a year is something which is very commendable. Once we have this bill, the 10 billion shillings which have been collected, the county government can easily be able to say, in this ward, we are able to collect X amount of money. Involve the citizens of that ward and tell them to prioritize on services that they want to be able to reach them, and we can easily be able to narrow this gap between the rich and the poor. We have serious challenges, Madam Speaker, in terms of marginalization. The only way we can be able to even effectively use the marginalization fund is once the citizens are involved. With those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to move. I beg to move that the bill be read a second time. And request Senator Malala to second.
Senator Malala, Cleophas Wakungu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In the interest of time, because I can see you're only remaining 7 minutes, so I'll quickly second this bill, Madam Speaker. First, I think this bill is informed by Article 1 of the Constitution, which provides that the sovereign power belongs to the people. And I think through public participation, Madam Speaker, the sovereign power can be exercised. I want to support this bill, Madam Speaker, because it provides for the operationalization of our Constitution and the different acts that have been passed by Parliament, Madam Speaker. Just to mention but a few, it enhances Article 33 of the Constitution, which provides for freedom of expression, Article 35 of the Constitution, access to information, and further Section 96 of the County Government Act also provides for access of information and states, Madam Speaker, every Kenyan has got the right to access information. And this bill is providing a framework in which we are going to exercise those freedoms. Madam Speaker, quickly, Part 2 of this bill generally cures bad public participation practices. Madam Speaker, we've seen situations whereby people are convened under a tree or in the scorching sun, Madam Speaker, and therefore I think it provides a mechanism in which county governments will be mandated to come up with facilities in which the public participation will be undertaken, Madam Speaker. We need facilities. We need to have a conducive, say, arena for carrying out the public participation, which is equipped with the Hansard equipment, Madam Speaker, which is equipped with public address, Madam Speaker. We've seen places whereby we do not have documentary evidence, and therefore we have officers who take advantage of the public. After they have taken views from the public, they go and change whatever views the public has proposed, Madam Speaker. And therefore it's important these facilities to be equipped to have the Hansard equipment so that we can have a better way of enhancing public participation. Madam Speaker, this bill is laid on a foundation of legal provisions, Madam Speaker, and I would like just to state one or two legal provisions that we have that cements the operationalization of this bill, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when you look at Section 33G of the County Government Act, it gives the governor powers to promote and facilitate citizen participation in the development of policies, plans, service delivery in the counties. Madam Speaker, the same County Government Act provides that the County Executive Committee member will execute their mandate on the basis of a participatory decision-making mechanism, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when you further look and interrogate the County Government Act, specifically Section 50, 3G, 51, 3G, and 53 and 52, 3A, Madam Speaker, it provides for the sub-county administrator, ward administrator, and the village administrators to be responsible for the coordination, management, and supervision of general administration functions in their respective jurisdictions, Madam Speaker, including ensuring and coordinating the participation of the public in governance, Madam Speaker. And therefore, it is important, Madam Speaker, to note that this bill is laid on a foundation of other legal frameworks, Madam Speaker. But just to interrogate deeply, Madam Speaker, Part 2 of this bill provides for mechanism in which the county governments are mandated to come up with these facilities. However, Madam Speaker, I would like to advise the mover of this motion to look into ways in which Article 197, Article 179, I mean, of the Constitution of Kenya, which states the executive authority of the county is vested and exercised by the County Executive Committee. Madam Speaker, Part 2 of this bill slightly wants to micromanage the county executive as to when to allocate monies and as to when to implement these projects. How I wish we would just provide a general mechanism to allow the county governments to implement their mandate without micromanaging them, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Part 3, I think we do not have the legal framework, the tunnel in which a senator can oversight a county executive committee member directly, Madam Speaker. As it stands right now, if we want to oversight counties, we can only oversight counties through our committees here in the Senate, Madam Speaker. And therefore, we need to amend this bill so that, Madam Speaker, we have a provision whereby the senator has a direct channel to ensure that we... I'm being interrupted, Madam Speaker.
Order, Senators, kindly proceed, Senator Malala.
Yes.
Order, Senator Zani and Senator Olekeda.
Yeah, so, Madam Speaker, we need to establish a channel in which a connection between the senator and the CECs, because, Madam Speaker, as we speak right now, a senator cannot go to a CEC and demand for documents. A senator cannot constitute a committee that oversights the CEC finance or CEC lands, Madam Speaker. And therefore, it is important for us to adjudicate the matter of the role of oversight of a senator versus the role of oversight of a member of county assembly. Madam Speaker, because I'm being harassed, I will have to end there and second this bill. Thank you.
Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that the County Oversight and Accountability Bill, Senate Bills number 28 of 2018, be read a second time. Senator Mwangi Paul Gidiomi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, this bill is a very important bill because, Madam Speaker, it deals with the implementation of projects.
Order, Senator Gidiomi. Senator Gidiomi, you'll have a balance of 19 minutes. Honorable Senators, it is now 6:30 p.m. Time to adjourn the business of the House. The Senate therefore stands adjourned to tomorrow, Thursday, 28 March 2019 at 2:30 p.m.